Greetings, good people, and welcome to the Goddess by Tarot, coming on to give you guys Pisces reading. So if you're Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, and maybe even Pisces and Saturn, pull up. This could be a very, resourceful reading for you. So listen, Pisces, I was actually guided to do an oracle read for you guys, okay, instead of a tarot read. For some reason, I feel like you guys don't so much need tarot. You need more inspiration, okay, than tarot. And yes, the tarot can give inspiration, but again, I was just guided to use my oracle deck, specifically my Ganesha oracle deck. So I'm going to follow through with what Spirit guided me to do, okay? So let's go ahead and welcome in the sweet, sweet, sweet spirit of love, light, and life. Thank you, sweet spirit, for using me as a trusted and true vessel to bring about a message for the collective of Pisces that will soon be here to view this video. No shame. Also, newbies, hello. If this is your very first time visiting with me, I hope that you do choose to subscribe and stay. OGs and returnees, welcome back. This deck is very near and dear to me. I do work with the deity Ganesha. He's such a wonderful, loving energy, okay? So I'm not shocked that I was guided to use this deck today, okay? Pisces, I'm not sure what you are going through, but I do feel like I was guided to use this deck because many of you may be reflecting right now. I feel like there could be some self-reflection going on. There are some things that you're having to revisit because it's time to allow them to cycle out. There's a new sheriff in town, so to speak, right? And only thing I mean by that is there are some new opportunities, some new ideas, and some new life that is trying to set up within you. But there are also some things that you're going to have to let fall off your timeline. Let it go. There's some things that you're going to have to literally just open your hand and let it drop and never pick it up again, okay? I believe that I'm talking to some Pisces that you've endured a lot of emotional and mental trauma connected to your past, okay? And it has had a hold on you for quite some time now. It doesn't feel like it's active. It doesn't feel like it's current. It all feels like it's from your past, but because you are holding it in a place in your mindset, you keep feeding it mentally and emotionally, it gets a lot of your attention. And because of that, it feels current. Because of that, you replay a lot of those things. But Spirit is saying, please surrender. Okay, let it go. Because there are things that are trying to come in and take its place. So you can no longer allow that energy to reside in your body, in your mind, in your heart, okay? There's a lot of whatever these things are that you have experienced, Pisces, has worked on your self-esteem a lot, worked against it. Let me say that. So I feel like I'm talking to a collective of Pisces that's done a lot of self-sabotaging. Your physical environment was probably affected by whatever took place, right? And you don't view yourself how you should, again, because you are holding on to some things that that just may have destroyed a version of you back when it happened. Okay, so I know I may be talking like I'm trying, because I'm looking for the right words, because I never want to offend anybody, I never want to trigger, so I am very careful with the verbiage that I use as I unfold this message. Okay, so again, surrender. Not surrender to the pain, and surrender to the darkness, and surrender to the negativity. Surrender to the newness, surrender to the rebirthing, surrender to the blooming that is trying to happen, because you know that this is trying to take place. I'm not telling you something that you don't already know. You know that there is a spark, there is a light, there is a being of newness that is trying to unfold. But you also know that there are some past things that are in the way, right? I believe that you may have adopted some behaviors, some habits, and some patterns that caused you to deviate from your path. Okay, but I believe that you have the power, the personal power, the spiritual power. You have the divine connectivity to wheel yourself back in. You're not that thing is not taking control of you anymore. I think that you know now how to control it. Okay, you know how to. I think the word I'm looking for is moderation. You no longer overindulge in those things, or you no longer allow those things to run you and control you, or you don't run to those things to numb or avoid thinking about things from the past. You no longer do that. Okay, now, do you still participate in the patterns, the behaviors, the habits, or whatnot? Yes, but I don't think that you participate in them to avoid dealing with harshness that may have come from your past. Okay. Okay, so let's move forward. Sustenance, the next card. Take an inventory of what you no longer need and what does still serve you. Okay, you're holding on to the things that do serve you. Okay, so not all of you has given in or fallen into those past things that took place. Some of you have went through very healthy processes of elimination, and you have released things, you have let those things go, or you've let some of the things go, because let me say this, because I know that when we endure things, it's never just that one thing. That when we endure something, it splinters off. So it's several little things that come from that one thing. Okay, so what I know that you have let go are some of the splinters, even though you are eventually going to have to get to the root of the matter and cut that thing or pull that thing up by the root, right? But until then, it is healthy that you are letting go and unhitching yourself, untethering yourself from some of the splinters that one thing did cause. Okay, but you are also, or you have begun to see what does serve you, and I believe many of you have jumped head in. So there's a lot of meditation going on. There's a lot of grounding going on. Many of you have started doing a lot of methodical things, practical things, like maybe you do rituals, maybe you're into the moon phases now. Maybe you go out and you visit the water, you sit under trees, you work with incense and call in the energy of air, you work with deities, you work with your ancestors, you work with guides. Many of you are doing things to sustain your spiritual self right now. Those are the things that you are holding on to. Those are the things that have kept you in alignment, right? So that's beautiful. Okay, that is beautiful. Many of you also, I'm hearing spirit say you have changed your diet. So many of you are eating things and digesting things that are not only good for your physical vessel, but they also give you metaphysical nutrition too. Okay, so that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. So the third card was achievement. I like this because to me this deals with details and order and work. This gives me Virgo's energy, right? 42. That equals 6. When I think about 6, I think about the 6th house, and achieving goals. And that's now that I think about it, because I said many of you have changed your diet. And we know that Virgo people are very health conscious, right? Spiritually health conscious, physically health conscious, emotionally health conscious. A high vibrating Virgo is very conscious of their complete biosphere, their aura, their whole entire being. They're very tapped in and tuned in. And because you are balanced with that energy, you know, Pisces, you are balanced with Virgo. Y'all are the polarities of one another. So you have a lot of Virgo traits in you. Not in the beginning. I think that comes a little later. Once you understand that you have duality, then you know that you can walk across that duality and pull in the traits of Virgo that you need. So many of you have done that, okay? Achievement. You've achieved that, right? So you understand yourself on a level that is you have a mental force that you now tap into that brings about a lot of fortitude, right? I think before you understood your duality, maybe you did do a lot of escaping, right? You did a lot of avoiding. You would show up as a person of isolation. Kind of like a stalemate, right? You would show up as a person who doesn't, maybe kind of emotionless. And it wouldn't be that you didn't have emotions. You would just show up and project that energy. And that could be a form, that could have been a form of you protecting yourself too. So I don't want to go too deep off in that, because we all have to wear certain types of masks when we are dealing with trauma and drama from our past, okay? Nobody should ever walk up just transparent as fuck. I don't believe in full-blown transparency. I believe transparency is earned through you being able to trust that people will take care of what you are being transparent about, right? Okay, so but I believe that you have achieved a certain level of calling your power back to you. And it started mentally first. Like you got your mental ducks in a row. And it's because you have tapped into your Virgo side. So again, you changed a lot of things about your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health. You got into the details of what needed to be done so you could sustain yourself, right? So you could sustain yourself. I'll shade to that. I'm sensing like a reinvention. I'm sensing a reinvention for you. Like you maybe reinvented yourself physically. It could have been a physical reinvention. Or it could have just been the way you view the things that you've endured. You went from feeling like a victim to taking what you've went through and turned it into your new philosophy. It helps build your philosophy. You don't see yourself as a victim anymore. Yeah, you don't see yourself as a victim anymore. You've conquered the victim mentality. So the people that you are transparent with, the people that you do trust with, talking about your past with, you talk to them very openly and very candidly about it, because you don't feel vulnerable when you're speaking of this now, because you've achieved a level of, again, personal power, boldness. Your originality has come back. Your authenticity has come back. And it came by way of you facing and making peace with a lot of things from your past. So you're showing up as a leader of your own life. You're showing up as someone who rewrote your own story. Like, you didn't let the story tell you, you told the story. Yeah, in the beginning, it may have looked like abuse. It may have looked like, name whatever it is. I don't want to trigger anyone by naming anything specific. It may have looked like abuse, but what it turned into was your divinity. It's the reason you tapped into your spirituality. It's the reason you became a conscious person. It's a reason that you're now tapped into your psychic abilities, right? So from very ugly, turbulent, distraught things can come beautiful, blooming wellness, okay? And that's what I see with you, Pisces. Positive outlook, absolutely. Look how gorgeous that card is. But everything that I just said, positive outlook. Again, you're no longer in a victim mentality, so you don't tell the old woe me story. You don't feel like you've been martyred. You're not a part of the martyrdom party. Okay, you don't tell the bottomed out story. You don't tell the old woe me. You tell a very victorious, I conquered, I regained it all, I got it all back tenfold. You tell the beauty. You don't tell the brutality. Okay, positive outlook. I love that. You are on a different life path now, Pisces. Okay, do your life path math. Okay, add your year, your birthday, and your birth month. Add those and then deduce them down to a single number. Now, if you are an 11, you want to leave that, because there's master numbers, master life path numbers: 11, 22, 33, 44. Okay, and it stops at that. Now, the good, beautiful thing about life path numbers that are master numbers, you can either be 11 or 2. 22s can be 22 or 4. 33s can be 33 or 6. 44s can be 44 or 8. Okay? So you kind of have a dual usage, or not necessarily dual usage. You have a multi-path that you can, and they really just, it's two paths that end up becoming one, right? But when I teach people about their life paths and they happen to be a master number, I like to tell them to read life path 11 and life path 2, life path 33 and life path 6. And again, most of the times they end up merging, but there are, a few different details in each of them that, would be separate from the other life path. Okay, so again, beautiful card indicating that you've achieved a very positive outlook because you decided to call your mental power back. You have been gifted mental force. Your mental capacity is healthy. It's full, it's whole, it's complete. And it's all because you've done some things that have helped sustain it, to help replenish it, and maybe even helped reinvent it. Okay, go Pisces. Reflection. So I said that earlier. That was the first thing I said with when I pulled surrender. I think before I even began to speak on the surrender card, I said that you may be going through reflecting on some things from your past. Now you reflect on those things and you see the lesson in behind them, right? You see how it was nudging you and ushering you to reset your compass, okay? Listen, Pisces, you have went through a crystallization. You have been rebirthed. You've been given It's almost like your north, your south, and your east and your west have been reset. You've been picked up, turned around, and set down on solid grounds somewhere else. This could be mental, this could be emotional, this could be spiritual, or it could be a very physical thing. Many of you may have decided to up and relocate and plant your physical feet on new physical solid ground. So place the energy where it belongs. But I do know that reflecting back on the things that you have endured, okay, where it used to drain you, now it amps you up. You're very ambitious about it for some reason. So many of you, this is kind of guiding me to think that many of you may be starting YouTube channels, you may be writing a book, or you could just be doing something very personal like journaling, right? Documenting your progress and your process through your life's experiences. Maybe you plan on doing something like that and leaving it for your children, so that could be their own little personal Bible of mama's or daddy's personal strength journey, right? Something like that is taking place. Either way, very beautiful. Also, I am sensing a resetting to the red chakra, the root chakra, the first chakra, which would be very indicative of this whole entire reading, because when we endure stuff from the past, it does stagnate the red chakra, the root chakra, especially until we decide, or until we come into the knowing of how to fix it. That red chakra just sits down there and it malfunctions. And then if the red chakra is malfunctioning, then your sacral chakra is malfunctioning, then your solar plexus chakra is malfunctioning, then you can't escalate and elevate up into that heart chakra. So there's been a lot of root chakra work being done, whether you did it intentionally and directly on the root chakra, or you just decided to deal with things from the past, make peace with it, let things go, keep what was serving you, let go of what was not serving you, and all of that in turn was fixing and replenishing that root chakra. Also, what you begin to eat, as I mentioned earlier, your health, your diet has changed. Okay, so you may be eating a lot of tomatoes and a lot of beets. Maybe you drink beet juice now. Maybe you eat a lot of red fruits and vegetables. Okay, a lot of watermelon, right? Because certain foods that we eat can also help the chakras, right? If you eat the color of the chakra, that is one way, okay, to help obtain a very healthy chakra. Okay, let's see what else is going on for you. Decision, absolutely. Making that decision to call in new direction, making that decision to call in blooming wellness. Not only calling these things in, but doing the thing that needs to be done, doing the very practical things, doing the very methodical things, doing the regiments. See, I'm not talking to some Pisces who've just called these things in. You actually put some action toward physical things, whether it was going deeper into your prayer, whether it was meditation and actually getting on routine with it. Again, some of you guys tapped your psychic abilities. Some of you begin to do rituals. Some of you do spells on yourself, love spells, and spells that call power back to you, right? Many of you started doing grounding spells. You started sitting outside. You started walking outside barefoot, right? You may have even begun to do color therapy and aromatherapy. I mean, it's so many different things that many of you begin to do. I also see that many of you begin to do a lot of reading, so your understanding of thyself has begun to take place. Many of you probably went and got natal charts done. You may started getting tarot readings. You may even be pulling your own cards, because again, you were trying to merge these versions of you. Again, you endured something that may have knocked you out of one version and threw you into another version. But because you now understand your dualities and your polarities, you understand why these versions of you had to happen so you could re-emerge them, okay? I see an emergence coming up out of you. Ugly things do catapult us into wonderful, beautiful versions of ourselves, okay? Pull a few more. Promise of the future. I love this. I could really stop with that. This, to me, looks like the Three of Wands card. If y'all know tarot, this gives me Three of Wands energy. Because the Three of Wands talks about exploration. It talks about foresight and leadership. Okay? You've mastered enough of your trauma and learned how to do the things that needed to be done to transmute that I can tell you are exploring higher versions of your spirituality, higher versions of your subconscious. Now, I do say and see that some of you have tapped into the occult, and that's okay too, because that might be what has inspired you to dip your toes off into other things. All of these things have helped you. But again, I can tell that you have mastered some things, right? You've transformed. You've transformed. I also see, and I have to say this because it is permeating from the cards, Pisces, that there is something about your sensual pleasure and your sexual satisfaction that has been heightened as well. Ever since you called your power back, your sexual energy, your sacral chakra energy, because that's where sexual energy lives. Your sacral chakra energy has been amplified. It's intense. Now, you may not use it for sex. You may use it for creativity, because sometimes you have to learn how to transmute sexual energy into art, into a craft. All sexual energy isn't to be used to actually have sex. A lot of times, most times, that energy should be used to go straight into having creative force, right? There's a lot of enthusiasm that lives in that sacral chakra that's connected to your sexual energy. There's a lot of confidence and courage that is connected to sexual energy. And when people learn to transmute that energy into creativity, then it's used properly, okay? I'm going to pull one more card because I believe I am, I don't know. I'll see. Let me just see. Being candid. Look, these cards are so beautiful. I just love these cards. But I said that earlier. I had said that earlier. So these cards are now just coming out and confirming what I had already said. But I had said that you are very candid about, with people that you trust. Your transparency is immensely, it is immensely given, because you only, first of all, you're only around people that you trust, because you have such a protective not isolation, but you are now, you're protective of this new version of you, first and foremost. So you're only around people that you do trust. And because of that, you can be very candid. You can talk and speak clearly. As I've already mentioned, you tell your story because you don't feel victimized when you tell your story. You don't have a victim mentality now. When you tell your story now, it is to uplift other people. It is to let people know where you coming from, right? So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful transmutation that I see with you now, Pisces, because you went from possibly being a victim, okay, possibly being martyred, possibly being misunderstood, okay, and all the other many things that you could have endured in the past that caused you to withdraw and possibly become cold, to now allowing your pain to turn into your profit, maybe, or to allow it to be your prophecy, to allowing it to be your philosophy, allowing it to help other people heal, right? Beautiful. I'm going to pull one more card and then I will end it. Acceptance. Absolutely. Because you are on a new path now. Okay, as I've already mentioned in one of these up here, a new path has been bestowed upon you. Go check out your life path number. I see life path energy all through this. Your life path number, if you did not know it, go get to know it and apply it, because you are healthy enough, mind, body, and soul, and in enough of your own power to really execute your life path number. Okay, I would love for you guys to check back in and drop your life path number in the comment section. I would really love for you to do that. But if you don't, that's okay, because I am a respecter of privacy, so you may not want me to know that, right? But I do believe that you have accepted your past because you've seen how relevant it was to your future. Okay, so I think that's your word, acceptance. How have you made it through everything that you've been through? I have accepted that it was a part of my mission. I have accepted that it was a part of what I needed to go through to grow. And that's what I have sensed ever since I started this reading, that you were not just, you didn't take your ass kickings, your life's ass kickings laying down. In the beginning you did, as we all do, but then something built you up and something got you up. And you cultivated a very beautiful mindset that is now bringing you so much self-passion, self-love, success, and creativity, that now all you need to do is use it to, again, make money off of it, profit from it, right? Or become a prophet of it and tell your story so other people will know that they are not alone, because we all are interconnected. We all go through stuff, and to hear somebody make it through their journey and to know that they can speak about it candidly and be very transparent without feeling vulnerable and victimized, that's self-mastery at its finest, okay? All right, Pisces, I hope that this was a very interesting, resourceful reading. I hope that it resonates with you. And if it does, I would love for you to comment, like, share if you know another Pisces that would benefit from this. But if nothing else, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. This is where I conclude. Have a good day.